Revenue. Let's explore our 20 ways to make it rain. Revenue number 1, the cream. Every user in 10x has been referred by another user. At the top of the chain is the top level user. Under the top level user are the second level users. The second level consists of the 10x team and 10x partners. All of us are working hard to build massive referral networks. But what happens when one of our direct referrals earns us a commission? In direct mode, we get 55%, with 5% going to top level user and 40% having nowhere else to go. That 40% goes to 10x company. In network mode, we get 10%, with 10% going to top level user and 80% having nowhere else to go. That 80% goes to 10x company. If instead of it being our direct referral, it was our level 2, then direct mode earns 35% for 10x company, and network earns 70% for 10x company. If instead of it being our level 2, it was our level 3, direct earns 30% for 10x company, and network 60% for 10x company. You get the idea. Basically, the cream spills over the top, and it's collected by 10x company. To help thank our 10x partners, we take any of the commissions top level user earns, and we distribute it to our 10x partners as traffic tokens, which further helps them grow their referral network and their love of 10x, which leads to more organic promotion and more commission overflow. Revenue number 2, direct wins, we win. Smart commissions will automatically determine if the user will make more money from direct or network. If direct wins, then the user earns 55% commissions from their direct referrals. However, if any of their network referrals also had commissions that week, then those go to 10x company. Revenue number 3, why U Haz No Level. A user has network referrals beyond level 1, but they don't hold any 10x tokens, so they have no 10x level. All of these network commissions belong to 10x company. Revenue number 4, thou shall not network. A user has network referrals and has 10x level to be eligible, but the user belongs to a country where downlines are illegal, for example, China. User accounts in these countries are restricted to direct, which means 10x company gets all of their network commissions. Revenue number 5, do you even network, bro? For whatever reason, the user has disabled direct and or network referral commissions in their profile. 10x company says thank you. Revenue number 6, computer says no. A user has direct or network commissions owing to them, which they could have earned this week. However, they didn't click on last week's irresistible offer and give it 1 minute of their attention. Failing to do this means they skip commissions for this week, and all of their commissions go to 10x company. Revenue number 7, unicorn commissions. As 10x grows and the network gets deeper and deeper, users will soon realize that holding 1 billion 10x tokens is priceless. Being level 10 means you can earn commissions from all 10 levels. But if you are only level 7, then all of your commissions from level 8, 9, and level 10 will go to 10x company. Revenue number 9, 10x token ILOs. We will launch 10x token on 10 blockchains over 10 years. Every launch will have an initial liquidity offering. 60% goes into the liquidity pool and 40% into the growth wallet. The growth wallet spending is governed by the 10x community and used to make 10x company grow. Revenue number 10, 10x token to the moon. We love nothing more than to buy the dip. As 10x token increases in price, our holdings become more valuable. We could leverage DeFi and use our 10x tokens as collateral for cryptocurrency loans, or explore other avenues for using DeFi to gain passive income. Revenue number 11, trading fees and Babel fish. 10x company is a market maker for 10x tokens, by supplying liquidity to decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, PancakeSwap, and Sovereign. Normally, when someone adds to a liquidity pool, they can remove their tokens at any time, which can result in a rug pull. 10x Company locks liquidity. After adding tokens to the liquidity pools, we use Unicrypt's liquidity locker service to lock away our LP tokens for 10 years. The first big liquidity lock is after a successful 10x token ILO presale, when we lock up 60%. After that, the 10x tokenomics collect liquidity tax on every transaction, which gets locked away every week, again for a 10-year period, starting from the week it was locked. While these tokens are locked away, they earn transaction fees on the decentralized exchanges. On a DEX, the fees that you earn are proportional to the size of your contribution to the liquidity pool. For example, if you funded 50% of the pool, then you get 50% of the fees. 10x Company will be by far the biggest contributor of liquidity to DEX liquidity pools. The transaction fees are meant to compensate for the risk people take on by providing liquidity. But in our case, there is no risk. It's just part of our tokenomics. When the LP tokens are unlocked, we withdraw the 10x tokens plus paired crypto. This includes the transaction fees earned over the locked period. 10x Company keeps all the DEX transaction fees earned during the 10-year lockup. In addition to the DEX transaction fees that we can only start to claim after an unlock, we will also be exploring Cardano's Babelfish transaction fees. We could fund a stake pool operator or become one ourselves and provide a competitive exchange rate for ADA versus ADA 10x. Then, traffic token and attention token transactions within the 10x app that incur a fee on the Cardano blockchain could be paid with ADA 10x instead of ADA, earning 10x Company a daily stream of passive income. Revenue number 12, YouTube ads. 10x Company is going to publish a lot of videos. Workout videos are evergreen. Most people watch them from start to finish, and they watch them over and over again. It's content gold. At the very end of our workout videos, we could display an ad. It won't disrupt the workout in any way, and most people will be doing a cool down during this time, so they will just let the ad play through, which means a healthy dose of ad revenue for us. We can also take advantage of this ad placement to run paid ads against our own videos for 10x offers. Revenue number 13, event sponsors and tickets. As the Growth Wallet budget increases, we will explore hosting epic industry events. Inspired by Gary Vaynerchuk's VCon, an exclusive conference for VFriends token holders. Whether we host virtual conferences or physical conferences, there will be opportunities for us to seek out event sponsors. 10x token holders with higher 10x levels will get VIP event access. And for people that don't have a high enough 10x level but still want access to the event, we can sell a limited supply of event tickets. Revenue number 14, media sponsorship. 10x Company will host a popular podcast and YouTube series called 10x Stories. We will dive deep into the entrepreneur's journey, breaking down exactly what it took to get to each 10x milestone along the way. Their first user, first 10 users, first 100 users, etc. The podcast content is mostly evergreen as we focus on the tried, failed, and proven strategies the entrepreneur used to grow. As the 10x community grows, so does our audience. Our media and the attention it influences will become worthy of sponsorship. Revenue number 15, swag. 10x is building more than a brand. We're building a culture. Because we will legitimately change the course of people's lives, giving them hope, giving them purpose, giving them freedom. The community will infuse 10x into their identity. Think 10x, be 10x. Fit, rich, and happy. 10x the world. Hashtag 10x. These words will become their battle cry. It will give them strength to never give up. 10x Company will release limited edition 10x swag to quench the thirst of our true fans. Revenue number 16, sell our own products. While the vast majority of what we promote in 10x is other businesses' products, there is nothing stopping us from selling our own products. We will have built a massive distribution channel with guaranteed click-through and 1 minute of attention. An extremely high-value audience of entrepreneurs, business owners, and digital marketers. We will be positioned in markets primed for massive growth, like crypto, SaaS, social, paid traffic, etc. And we cover the 3 biggest verticals: health, wealth, and happiness. We will have an internal powerhouse of content creators for our 10x offers and our 10x bonuses. Plus, we'll be working with some of the world's best copywriters. After we hit product market fit, nothing is stopping us from focusing some of our skills and resources on creating paid products that are our own creations. And naturally, anything we sell will have a very generous affiliate program, like 50% to 100% commissions. Revenue number 17, traffic tokens. Users can buy traffic tokens as once-off payments, monthly subscriptions, or annual subscriptions. Our 10x community is literally paying for our paid advertising. This is a growth machine that I have never seen before. Our paid ads budget will be insane. Revenue number 18, token vesting unlocks. With every 10x token launch, there is 5% growth and 5% team tokens locked away. The 5% growth vesting starts its linear release from day 1 and completes in 10 years. It's a very long and slow release of tokens that 10x company can use for marketing and growth, as voted on by the 10x community via governance. The 5% team vesting has a 10-year cliff, meaning no tokens are released for the first 10 years. After those first 10 years have passed, then the 5% team vesting starts a weekly release over an additional 10-year period. So in case you were wondering, yes, we are here for the long haul. Revenue number 19, crypto investing. Having 10x token on 10 blockchains means we will be very connected to the market with a good feel for what's trending at a macro level. A portion of 10x company revenue will be invested in a wide portfolio of low, medium, and high-risk investments. Since we're planning to be here for decades, we have the right mindset for making huge gains in crypto. Revenue number 20, 10x team paid in 50% traffic. 10x team does not depend on a salary. Our team is paid each week 50% cash, 50% traffic tokens. Soon enough, the cash becomes play money. Building our team's referral network means we're investing in their financial freedom. It also makes every team member heavily invested in 10x traffic's ROI and 10x apps' viral growth. We want everyone in our team to not work because they have to, but instead because they want to. Furthermore, any team member that has passion and excitement for building their own startup is fully encouraged to do so. Our work arrangement is very flexible, from being stuck in your 9-to-5 job through to wanting to explore your own side hustle. We believe 10x as a product has enough depth, challenges, and rewards that our core team will be infinitely excited to work on it. But if someone chooses to leave 10x and go full-time on their own business, then we celebrate. Because we can't think of anyone better to go and 10x the world.